For our earliest ancestors, every single day was a high-stakes adventure, a relentless quest for one thing: food. Today we're rejourneying back in time to explore the incredible story of early human survival and the epic struggle for a meal in a world that was both beautiful and brutally unforgiving. Imagine waking up not to an alarm clock, but to the sounds of a prehistoric dawn. The air is crisp, the landscape is vast and wild, teeming with creatures you'd only see in a museum today. You are one of our early ancestors, perhaps an Australopithecus, or an early Homo habilis. Your stomach is empty, and that rumbling isn't just hunger. It's a primal signal to start the most important job of the day. Unlike the powerful predators that roamed this ancient world, saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, early humans weren't at the top of the food chain, not even close. We weren't the strongest or the fastest. We didn't have massive claws or razor-sharp teeth. So, what did we have? We had our brains, our hands, and most importantly, each other. Teamwork was everything. The menu back then was, shall we say, eclectic. A huge portion of their diet came from plants. Foraging was a full-time job. The group, likely led by the more experienced members, would search for edible roots, tubers, nuts, fruits, and seeds. But this wasn't a simple stroll through a garden. Every plant had to be identified. Was this berry a nutritious snack or a deadly poison? This knowledge was a library passed down through generations, a treasure trove of botanical wisdom that meant the difference between a full belly and a fatal mistake. They would have used simple digging sticks, perhaps a sharpened branch, to unearth starchy tuberous prehistoric potatoes that provided crucial carbohydrates for energy. But plant-based foods weren't always enough, especially in leaner seasons. Our ancestors needed the high-energy payoff of protein and fat. This is where things got really dangerous. Direct hunting of large animals was incredibly risky. A confrontation with a mammoth or a giant bison was a losing game for a small, two-legged creature with only rocks and sticks. So, how did they get meat? They became the ultimate opportunists. They were expert scavengers. Imagine a group of early humans patiently watching from a safe distance as a pride of saber-toothed cats takes down a large herbivore. The predators eat their fill and move on. That's the signal. Cautiously, the group moves in. The air is thick with tension. Other scavengers, like giant hyenas, are also closing in. It's a race against time and a battle of wits. Using crude stone tools, the very first inventions of humankind, they would quickly get to work. These weren't finely crafted spearheads. They were simple, sharp-edged rocks, flaked off a larger stone. Homo habilis. The handyman would use one of these choppers to slice through thick hide and cut away chunks of meat left on the carcass. But the real prize was inside the bones. Larger predators couldn't always crack open the massive leg bones of their prey, but humans could. Using a heavy rock as a hammer, they would smash the bones open to get to the rich calorie-dense marrow inside. This fatty, nutritious substance was like a prehistoric superfood, providing critical fuel for their growing brains. This access to marrow and brain matter might have been one of the key factors that propelled our own evolution forward. It wasn't just about scavenging large kills. Small game was also on the menu. Lizards, turtles, birds, eggs, and insects were all valuable sources of protein. They might have set simple traps or cornered smaller animals. Every single calorie counted. Nothing was wasted. This constant search for food shaped everything about them, their bodies, their minds, and their societies. It drove innovation, forcing them to create better tools. It fostered communication and cooperation, as a group was always more successful than an individual. Think about the senses required for this life. An acute sense of hearing to detect a predator lurking in the tall grass. A sharp eye to spot a half-hidden nest of eggs or a subtle track in the dirt. An encyclopedic knowledge of the landscape, where to find water, which caves offered the best shelter, and where the herds migrated. Their world was an intricate map of resources and risks, and they navigated it with a skill and awareness we can barely comprehend today. This daily struggle also meant that life was fragile. A failed hunt or a season of drought could spell disaster. Injury or illness could leave an individual unable to contribute, making them dependent on the group's generosity. This is where we see the seeds of human compassion. The survival of the group depended on its members looking out for one another. Sharing food wasn't just a nice thing to do. It was a fundamental survival strategy that bound the community together. So, the next time you casually open your fridge, take a moment to appreciate the journey of our species. The ease with which we access food today is built on a foundation of millions of years of struggle, ingenuity, and incredible resilience. Our ancestors weren't just surviving. They were laying the groundwork for everything that was to come. They were the pioneers of the human spirit, turning a daily fight for food into the first great chapter of our story. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into our incredible past. Let me know in the comments what aspect of prehistoric life you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.